Now let's do some example problems. We'll do a few and then I think you'll get the hang of it. So go ahead and write this example in your notes. You're just finding the values of x and y. You got a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Now I think they are easiest whenever they give you your short side first, that or the hypotenuse. They're a little bit more challenging if they give you this length and nothing else. That's your longer leg, okay? But they give us our short leg, so this is a pretty easy problem. Now I can find the hypotenuse right away if I have my short leg, because I know with my properties I wrote down, the hypotenuse is always 2 times my short leg. So y is just 11 times 2, so I can go ahead and write that down. I have my pen. So y equals 22. Okay, and then x, this one's not too bad either. I know this side, the long leg, the one opposite 60 degrees, is always whatever my short leg is times the square root of 3. So x is simply 11 times root 3. And there's literally nothing else I can do with that because I can't simplify that radical. So it's that easy. Let's look at the second one over here. Go ahead and write this one down. This one's a little bit more challenging because the only thing they give us is the long leg right there, the 16. Okay, so if they give you that, it's not too bad. It's a little bit more challenging. Let me show you how I approach problems like this. So 16, that's all I know, my long leg. So I'm going to start with writing that number down. I'm going to write 16 and set it equal to something. This is how I always approach these problems. Now I know my long leg is always equal to my short leg times the square root of 3. So I'm going to write that down. I'm going to say 16 equals x times root 3. Just like that. Now I have a little equation I can use to solve for x. So I simply divide both sides by root 3. That cancels out. Do the same thing over here. I'm going to rotate all that around. So we get x equals 16 over root 3. Try and get my shadow out of the way. And then of course we got to get rid of that radical. So we multiply top and bottom by root 3. That simplifies to 16 root 3 over 3. And I always check and see, can I simplify the 16 and the 3? Which I can't, so that is my value for x. So looking back at my problem, I found my short side. Short side here is 16 root 3 over 3. So I'm going to label that 16 root 3 over 3. Okay, now I just have to find y, which is the hypotenuse, and I know the hypotenuse in a 30, 60, 90 is always just 2 times my short leg. So I'm going to take this thing that I found, multiply it by 2, and then I've got my hypotenuse. So let's pull that out to the side. 16 root 3 over 3. And I'm going to multiply it by 2. Now this is actually really easy. I know that looks complicated, but if you want, you can turn the 2 into 2 over 1, since this one's a fraction, and you multiply straight across. So really the only thing that gets multiplied by 2 is the 16 out here. So 16 root 3 times 2 would give you, 16 times 2 is 32. Oops, 32 root 3 over, that's just 3 times 1, 3. And I can't simplify that anymore. That would be my hypotenuse, my value for y. All right, let's look at our third problem here. Y'all can write this one down also. Let me back up a little bit. So this one says, and you can pause this to write it down, find the perimeter and area of a 30, 60, 90 triangle with a hypotenuse length of 28 centimeters. All right, so I would draw a little triangle here, 30, 60, 90. However you want to do it. Let's go like this. There you go. Good enough. All right, so let's say here's our 60, 90, here's our 30. Okay, so the only thing they told us was the hypotenuse is 28 centimeters. So let's just write 28. Okay, now the easiest side to find if they give you the hypotenuse first would be your short leg, because I know this is just double that one. So that makes this one 14. It's half of it. And then, not too bad, I can find the long leg because I always know it's my short leg times the square root of 3. So I can label this one as just 14 root 3. Got all my sides labeled now. What does it want us to find? Perimeter and area. All right, perimeter, so you add them all up. Now when you add with radicals, it's not too bad. You can't add these two to the radical, but you just add these two together, and then that's really all the simplifying you can do. So we'll put P for perimeter would equal 28 plus 14 plus 14 root 3. Okay, so my perimeter equals, that would be 42 plus 14 root 3. And that's it. Can't simplify that anymore. Of course, we can go like this and put, what is it, centimeters, if we're adding our units, which we should. All right, so there's my perimeter, and then if I want to find area of a triangle is just base times height divided by 2. So in a triangle, for your base and height, always pick the two legs, never the hypotenuse, okay? So we got a base right here times our height, and then we will divide by 2. So let's write that. Let's just put A for area. That's going to equal 14 times 14 root 3, all divided by 2. Okay, so let's multiply that out. 14 times 14, let's see, what is that? 196? I think that's right. I hope that's right. Check me if I'm wrong. So we get 196 root 3 all over 2. And then we can simplify that out. 196 divided by 2, we get, what is that, 98. So 98 root 3. And that would be our area, simplified. Of course, we can put our units, which would be, for area, it'd be centimeters squared. There you go, 30, 60, 90 triangles.